Hi, Jeff Wilcox here. This video is from my book and my workshop entitled Initiating Spiritual Conversations. This segment is about listening. I've heard it said that listening is the best tool we have in sharing our faith in Jesus, and I absolutely agree. Because in order to have an effective spiritual conversation with someone, we need to find out first where they are spiritually. We need to find out what the other person thinks about God. We need to find out what their misconceptions might be. And it would be real nice to know what their past interactions with Christians have been like. And to do that, we have to ask some questions and then really listen. The best way to show someone that they're important to you is to listen to the things that are important to them. And being a good listener will give you a great deal of credibility with people. A lot of folks have been turned off by someone being real pushy and overbearing and doing almost all of the talking. And it's very likely that you've been on the receiving end of this too. Dealing with someone whose only goal is to point out that they're right and you're wrong is so unpleasant. No one wants to be treated like that. Yes, sharing our faith in Jesus involves telling people some things, but that should be done in a very gracious way. And it should be done only after we let that person know that we value them and that we're really interested in what they believe. And that involves some listening. Here's an example from my own life. Some years ago, my wife and I were in Florida at a frozen yogurt store in a little strip mall. And right next door was a Christian Science reading room, complete with a smiling lady behind a desk. So I told my wife that I was going to go in and share the gospel with her. So she rolled her eyes and said, "Okay, see you later." So I walked in and introduced myself and said to her, "Ma'am, I don't know much about Christian Science," which was true, by the way. And I said, "Would you mind sharing with me what you believe?" And she said she would be delighted to. So we spent the next few minutes with her telling me about Mary Baker Eddy and her book on science and health and how they view sickness. I was really interested, and I asked several questions. I really wanted to know what she believed. And when she was finished, I asked her if I could share with her what I believed. And she said she would be happy to let me do that. So I explained the biblical view of sickness and sin and who Jesus claimed to be, and all about his death on the cross and what it can do for us, with no arguments at all. Now, if I had just walked in there and started quoting the Bible and pointing out that her beliefs were all wrong, she wouldn't have listened to me at all, and I wouldn't have blamed her a bit. But I treated her with respect. I earned the right to share what I believed by listening to her first and by being genuinely interested in what she had to say. Now, she didn't make a decision to trust Jesus that day, but she did hear me. So do try to talk a bit less and listen a lot more.